Ready for a deep dive into a love story. But not just any love story.
Oh, no.
We're going deep into the world of Kabbalah
Okay.
and Hasidic Judaism through this book
All right.
called Amor en Tiempos de Kabbalah, which translates to Love in the Time of Kabbalah.
Interesting.
It's by Rabbi Jizky Ravel.
Okay.
And it's like his own journey
Mm-hmm.
of finding love and getting married.
That's for sure a unique way to look at love and relationships. I mean,
Yeah.
we always think about love,
Yeah.
personally,
Yeah,
emotionally,
Yeah.
but to add in ancient Jewish mystical concepts.
And you won't believe some of the stuff that happens.
Oh, really?
We're talking about shidduch, which is like a matchmaking system
Got it.
where families and mentors
Mm.
help people find their match
Okay.
and get this
Wow.
absolutely no physical contact before marriage.
No physical contact.
None.
Wow. That really changes how we think about dating today.
For sure?
It's like you have to connect on a deeper level.
Yeah.
Like understand someone's soul
Right.
before even thinking about the physical stuff.
It's about a connection deeper than the surface.
Absolutely.
And Rabbi Ravel doesn't just tell his story.
Right.
He uses each step of his courtship
Yeah.
to illustrate
Okay.
spiritual principles from Kabbalah.
So it's like a secret decoder ring
Yeah.
for love.
Okay. So let's jump in.
Uh-huh.
Who are the main characters in this Kabbalistic love story?
That's what I want to know.
So we have Rabbi Jizky Ravel himself.
Okay.
He was known as Jizkiyahu back then.
All right.
And his future wife, Débora.
Got it.
They met through this whole shidduch system,
Okay.
but it wasn't love at first sight.
Interesting.
They're actually pretty different.
Opposites attract.
Well,
Maybe more.
Like, what were they like?
Yeah.
Well, Jizkiyahu had a little bit of a rebellious side.
Okay.
He had explored different spiritual paths
Mm-hmm.
before coming back to Judaism.
Inter-
But Débora was already very involved in her Jewish community,
Okay.
like very grounded.
So not an obvious match.
No,
When you said this shidduch thing,
Yeah.
it's not just throwing two random people together
oh,
alone.
definitely not.
So tell me how it works.
It's very intentional.
Okay.
There's a matchmaker
Mm-hmm.
called a shadchan.
Okay.
They meet with both people,
Uh-huh.
their families,
Yeah.
sometimes even spiritual advisors
Wow.
to figure out if they'd be a good match.
They really go all out.
Oh, yeah. They look at everything.
Oh, what? What?
Their religious observance,
Okay.
personality,
Uh-huh.
family background,
Wow.
even astrological signs sometimes.
So it's personalized and spiritual.
Exactly.
I can see why it's appealing
Yeah.
for those wanting a deep connection.
And in this case, their families
Mm-hmm.
and even their spiritual mentors
Yeah.
were really involved.
They were called
Mashibia.
Mashbia. Okay.
So just imagine
Okay.
going on a date with someone you barely know, who was chosen for you,
Yeah.
and you can't even touch.
And no touching.
It's a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of pressure.
You'd think it would be a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
But you mentioned that he connects each date
Yes.
to a Kabbalistic principle.
Yeah. Could you explain that a bit more?
So in Kabbalah, there's this concept
Okay.
of sephiro.
Okay.
They're like emanations of divine energy, 10 different qualities
Right.
through which God interacts with the world.
Okay.
They represent everything: wisdom,
Uh-huh.
understanding,
Okay.
beauty, strength.
Got it.
And Rabbi Ravel uses each date
Okay.
to illustrate one of these sephiro,
Interesting.
showing how these spiritual forces are at play,
Okay.
even in falling in love.
So it's not just a love story. It's
Yeah.
also a spiritual journey.
Exactly. So where does their story begin?
Let's hear it.
Well, their first date is pretty memorable.
Okay.
Imagine two people from different backgrounds
Yeah.
in a kosher restaurant
Mm-hmm.
in New York City,
All right.
just trying to make conversation
Yeah.
and figure out if there's a spark.
Especially with all that pressure.
Oh, yeah, tons of pressure.
It sounds awkward.
You'd think so, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But something amazing happened.
Oh,
They ended up talking for hours.
really?
Like they were there until 3:30 in the morning.
Wow. That's a long first date.
It is. Jizkiyahu was so nervous
I can imagine.
that he had an escape plan with the waiter,
Oh, no.
just in case.
He was ready to bolt.
He was ready.
So what did they talk about for so long?
Everything. Families,
Okay.
dreams,
Yeah.
doubts,
Mm-hmm.
their views on Judaism.
Wow. They really went deep.
They did. And they were both surprised
Yeah.
by how easily they connected.
Despite all their differences.
Yeah, and all that pressure,
And this is where the Kabbalah comes in.
it does.
How so?
Rabbi Ravel connects this first date
Uh-huh.
to the Sephira of Chochmah,
Choshma.
which is all about wisdom,
Okay.
insight.
Mm-hmm.
and that initial spark of inspiration.
So that feeling when you first start getting to know someone.
Yeah. And the fact that they stayed up all night talking shows there was a definite connection.
Oh, there was.
But you said it wasn't all smooth sailing.
Not at all.
So what happened?
Well, they're still getting to know each other.
Yeah.
Débora has reservations.
Okay.
Jizky is dealing with his past and wondering if he can really do this whole shidduch thing.
So they're both wondering if it's meant to be.
Exactly.
So they had this amazing first date, all that chochma.
Yeah.
But you said it wasn't all easy.
No, it wasn't.
So what happened next?
So think about it.
Okay.
Like when you first meet someone,
Yeah.
you have that excitement.
Right.
But then you start to
Go deeper.
Yeah.
And this is where that second sephira comes in.
You got it.
Which one is it?
Baina.
Okay.
And it's all about understanding processing,
Mm-hmm.
really going deeper. So they're taking that spark
Yeah.
and seeing what's underneath.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And this date is intense.
Ooh.
They talk about some heavy stuff.
Like what kind of stuff?
Their deepest fears.
Wow.
Past traumas.
Real?
Even awkward teenage moments.
So they're being really vulnerable.
Oh, yeah. Big time?
What made them open up so much?
Well, remember, they believe this match
Yeah.
was made by God.
Right.
So there's a lot of trust there.
Makes sense.
Plus, they're both committed
Yeah.
to this spiritual growth.
So it's not just dating.
Right.
It's like looking into each other's souls.
Yeah, using Kabbalah as their guide.
I like that.
So what did they find out?
Yeah, what did they learn?
Well, they realized their lives had been so different.
Right. Débora was always in her community.
Uh-huh.
And Jizky had been everywhere. It's like different experiences.
Totally.
But did they have anything in common?
They did.
What was it?
And this is a key takeaway.
Okay, I'm listening.
Real compatibility might not be shared experiences,
Okay.
but shared aspirations.
Interesting.
Those core values and beliefs.
So even with different pasts,
Yeah.
love can bridge the gap.
If you have a shared purpose.
Powerful stuff.
And that's what kept them going.
Even when things got tough.
Oh, yeah. Because trust me, things are about to get interesting.
Okay, I'm hooked.
So they keep dating.
Yeah.
And each date,
Mm-hmm.
new challenges,
Okay.
deeper insights.
And each date is another sephira.
Of course.
So after chochma
Mm-hmm.
and baina,
Yeah.
what's next?
Date number 3
Okay.
is all about cheesed,
Cheesed.
which is kindness,
Okay.
generosity,
Uh-huh.
boundless love.
So all good things.
Right.
Yeah.
But even cheesed
Yeah.
needs boundaries.
What do you mean?
Well, think about it.
Okay.
Too much generosity
Yeah.
can be overwhelming,
True.
even harmful.
Right.
Remember how they decided
Yeah.
to be more open, more honest?
Right.
Well, Jizky
Yeah.
decides to confess something big.
Oh, this sounds like trouble.
It might be.
What did he confess?
He tells Débora
Uh-huh.
about experimenting with
What?
let's just say, herbal enhancements
Oh, wow.
during his exploring phase.
That's a big risk,
It is.
especially in their community.
Right.
So how did Débora take it?
She was pretty shaken.
Yeah, I bet.
It made her question him
Mm-hmm.
and worry about his lifestyle.
Right, because it's one thing to connect spiritually,
Yeah,
but actions matter too.
they do.
It shows even with good intentions, we
Mhm.
can make mistakes.
And Jizky's honesty
Yeah.
kind of backfired.
He wanted to show cheese,
Right.
but went too far.
He did.
So what happened?
Things got tense.
I can imagine.
Débora was hurt,
Yeah.
questioned his maturity.
Uh-huh.
He tried to apologize with gifts.
But that wasn't what she needed.
No, it wasn't.
They both had to work through it.
They did.
Rabbi Ravel compares it to
Yeah.
a divine judgment,
Wow.
making them face their flaws.
It was a tough time.
So did they make it through?
It was hard.
Yeah.
They had to decide if they could see past this mistake,
Right.
understand his intentions.
Okay.
And then
Ugh.
Jizky went on a trip.
Oh, no long distance.
Yeah.
That's hard enough.
What?
You're telling me on top of everything else.
But of course, Rabbi Ravel
What?
sees this separation
Uh-huh.
as divinely planned.
It's all connected to symptom.
Symptom. We haven't talked about that.
No, we haven't.
What is it?
It's like
Yeah.
divine contraction.
Divine contraction.
Yeah,
That sounds complicated.
it is. But imagine this. For
Okay.
creation to exist,
Yeah.
for anything to exist besides God, there
Okay.
has to be a withdrawal,
Okay.
a contraction.
Uh-huh.
God makes space for us.
Well,
So in their relationship,
yeah.
sometimes to grow,
Yeah.
you need to pull back. Makes sense.
So this distance
Yeah.
is a chance to grow.
individually to think things through.
Exactly.
But how do they stay connected?
They write letters,
Okay.
emails, long phone calls.
It's so old school.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is where we get the Hasidic kiss
The
letter.
Hasidic kiss.
You've been wondering about it.
I have.
So Jizky
Yeah.
wants to show his affection, but no touching allowed.
Right.
So he writes her this letter
Okay.
that basically transcends a physical kiss.
He's expressing love with words.
Yeah, and spiritual concepts.
Using their shared language.
Exactly.
That's powerful.
He uses Kabbalah
Yeah.
to describe his feelings, their connection.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
It is.
So did it work?
Yeah. Did the letter bring them closer?
It did.
Good.
They reconnected, but their journey's not over.
Right. They're still going through the Sephiroth.
Yeah, and each one brings new lessons.
So what happens next?
Last time we left, Jizky and Débora at a crossroads.
Right.
They had to surrender
Yeah.
during that silence.
It was a tense moment.
It was.
They had to decide.
Right.
To trust their intuition.
Yeah.
And if it was worth it.
And during this time, Jizky has this crazy dream.
A dream.
Yeah.
Okay, what kind of dream?
He sees this woman struggling to cross a river.
Okay.
And he realizes
Yeah.
it's Débora.
Wow.
And she needs help.
But he can't force her.
He can't.
She has to ask.
Exactly.
So he wakes up.
With this feeling of clarity.
Okay.
The relationship isn't over,
Right.
but he can't control it.
He has to let go.
He does.
And trust that it'll work out.
It's like that dream.
Yeah.
Gave him what he needed.
To understand surrender.
Yeah. Like true surrender.
Yeah.
Hard.
Wow.
And get this. This whole dream thing ties into Yesod,
Okay.
which is about connection,
Okay.
building a foundation.
So Jizky laid the foundation,
He did.
but Débora had to build on it.
Exactly.
I like that.
It's a good metaphor, right?
It is.
So he decides to wait.
Even though it's hard.
Oh, it was so hard for him.
But he focuses on himself, his own growth.
Yeah, and accepts that he might get rejected.
That's tough.
It is.
And what about Débora?
Oh, she's a mess.
What's going on with her?
Getting advice from her mentors.
Yeah.
Some say move on. Others say give him a chance.
She's getting mixed messages.
She is. And she's trying to figure it all out.
Her intuition.
Yeah.
The advice. Her own doubts.
It's a lot. So how does she figure it out?
This is where we get to hidden lights.
Hidden lights?
It's this idea that the truth is hidden, like below the surface.
Got it.
You have to look deeper.
Interesting.
So Débora was so focused on the perfect match.
Right.
Checking off boxes.
That she missed
What?
the amazing connection.
That was right there?
Right there.
Wow.
And then a bunch of random things happen.
Like what?
Like little nudges from God, maybe.
To help her see.
Yeah, to help her see those hidden lights.
Interesting.
So she meets someone who had a similar shidduch experience, and they're happily married.
That's a good sign.
Right. And then she gets a letter.
The letter.
From the Rebbe himself.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And she sees it as a sign.
Okay.
To trust her heart.
To go for it.
Yeah. And then she talks to her mom.
Okay.
Who just got back from a trip.
All right.
And her mom is super supportive.
Giving her that unconditional love. So she's getting guidance everywhere.
Everywhere.
That's amazing.
And this all leads to
their 10th date.
Yes.
Oh.
And this date is all about Malchut.
Malchut.
Which is receptivity and humility.
Interesting.
So they revisit old conversations, reread letters.
They're really digging deep.
They are.
Yeah.
Débora finally opens up.
She lets her guard down.
She does. Starts to see him differently.
All those moments apart help them connect.
They did?
They got rid of all that extra stuff and found their core.
Exactly.
But they still haven't decided.
Not yet.
About the shidduch.
No.
So what happens on date 11?
This is a big one.
It is.
Yeah, it's all about Keter.
Keter. Okay.
The crown.
Wow.
Pure consciousness. Unity with God.
So the highest sephira?
The highest.
What happens?
It's actually a simple date.
Really?
Yeah. Just walking and talking.
So they've moved past all that chaos and found their way back.
To that pure connection.
To Chokshma.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
And during their walk, Jizky shares this teaching.
About?
Faith and surrender.
Okay.
He compares their journey
Yeah.
to the Israelites in the desert,
That.
reminding Deborah that true happiness
Yeah.
comes from aligning with God's will.
Even when we don't get it.
Exactly.
And is that when she says yes?
Not quite.
Oh.
They end the date.
Yeah.
No decision yet.
Okay.
But later that night,
Mm-hmm.
he gets a text.
From Deborah.
Yeah, just one word.
What was it?
Yes.
She said yes.
She did.
After all that,
I know.
she finally said yes.
And it's not just to him.
Right.
It's like she's saying yes to God,
Okay.
to the journey,
Yeah.
to those hidden lights.
She's trusting the process.
She is.
That's powerful.
It is. And so they get married.
They do a beautiful ceremony.
But their journey continues.
It does.
That's a good reminder
It is.
that the wedding isn't the end.
No, it's just the beginning.
I've learned so much from this deep dive.
Me too.
It's made me think about
Yeah.
the hidden lights in my own life.
That's what it's all about.
What am I missing?
Yeah. What connections are we overlooking? What choices do we need to make?
Such good questions.
This has been fascinating.
It has.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into love in the time of Kabbalah. May your journey be filled with love, wisdom, and the discovery of your own hidden lights.